Did you know that Captain Ibrahim Traore, the president of Burkina Faso and Africa's youngest leader, has become a household name across the continent? His story is sparking conversations in ways no one could have predicted. In a time when many leaders struggle to connect with their people, Traore seems to be breaking the mold. Take his recent trip to Ghana, for instance. It was supposed to be a straightforward event, the inauguration of former President John Mahama, who returned to office. Over 30 African presidents and dignitaries attended, each receiving polite applause from the crowd. But when Traore's name was announced, the atmosphere shifted. Cheers erupted, deafening the applause given to anyone else. It was as if the crowd had been waiting just for him. This unexpected wave of support isn't confined to Ghana. Over in Kenya, a country grappling with economic struggles and growing frustration over corruption, something extraordinary is happening. Instead of their own leaders' portraits, Kenyans are painting Traore's face on public buses. Yes, you heard that right. Imagine standing at a busy intersection in Nairobi or walking the vibrant streets of Mombasa, only to see a bus whiz by with Traore's image boldly painted on its side. It's not just art, it's a statement. People are asking, why would a foreign leader, someone from a country thousands of kilometers away, become such a symbol of hope? What does Traore embody that their own leaders don't? It's a question resonating across the continent, sparking debates in markets, schools, and social gatherings. What is it about this young leader that's capturing hearts in places he's never even visited? If you are still watching this video, it means you love it. We want to ask you one question. Would you love a man like Captain Ibrahim Traore to be the president of your country? Let us know your opinion in the comments section. Let us move on. This ripple effect has taken Africa by storm, sparking lively discussions about what real leadership looks like and what the future holds for the continent. To understand why Captain Ibrahim Traore has struck such a chord with Kenyans, we need to look at his story and what he stands for. Back in 2022, at just 34 years old, Traore stepped into the spotlight, becoming Africa's youngest leader. But this wasn't your typical rise to power. His journey wasn't paved with political favors or glossy campaigns. It was born out of chaos and the courage to fight for change. Burkina Faso, his homeland, had been reeling from years of instability, corruption, and outside interference. Many had lost hope. Then came Traore, a young leader who refused to back down. He called for a new way forward, one that put the power back in the hands of his people. His vision, a Burkina Faso and a continent free from exploitation and dependency. At the heart of his leadership is a push for self-reliance. Traore has taken a stand against relying on foreign aid or loans that often come with strings attached. Instead, he's turned inward, rallying local resources and talent to rebuild his nation. His bold approach has drawn comparisons to Thomas Sankara, the revolutionary leader who also dreamed of a self-sufficient Burkina Faso. Under Traore's leadership, the country has seen some incredible changes, such as breaking free from debt traps. He boldly rejected loans from international organizations that often leave nations burdened with debt. Instead, he focused on tapping into Burkina Faso's own resources. Traore also revolutionized agriculture. Traore's policies have sparked an agricultural revival, boosting food production and empowering local farmers. No longer is the country so dependent on costly imports. Traore has been building industries. From tomato factories to small-scale industries, his push for local manufacturing has energized the economy and created jobs. Traore is also heavily investing in the youths of his country. Traore understands that the future lies with young people. He's poured resources into education and skills training, giving them the tools to build a better tomorrow. Meanwhile, over in Kenya, citizens are growing frustrated. The cost of living is sky high. Corruption scandals keep piling up, and many feel like the government is out of touch. President William Ruto's administration has faced sharp criticism for broken promises and economic struggles, leaving people looking elsewhere for inspiration. And that's where Traore comes in. His boldness, his results, and his message of hope have sparked admiration far beyond Burkina Faso. Kenyans, disillusioned by their own leadership, see in him the kind of change they've been craving. In Kenya, where dissatisfaction with leadership is becoming more vocal, something unexpected is happening. The spotlight is turning toward figures like Ibrahim Traore, a leader from beyond their borders who seems to embody the qualities they yearn for in their own politicians. Traore represents a new kind of leadership, one that is bold, fearless, and rooted in a genuine commitment to the people. For many Kenyans, he's not just a leader, he's a symbol of what leadership could and should be. Traore's refusal to back down in the face of foreign pressure makes him stand out in a world where many leaders are seen as overly reliant on external influences. He prioritizes the interests of his nation, sending a clear message: The needs of the people come first. For Kenyans frustrated with political systems they perceive as self-serving or out of touch, this approach feels revolutionary. It's a breath of fresh air that resonates deeply, and it's why admiration for Traore is spilling out into the streets. Quite literally. Public buses in Kenya now display colourful murals of Traore's image, turning ordinary vehicles into moving symbols of hope and defiance. These aren't just pieces of art, they're a statement. They carry a message that's both personal and political, one that challenges the status quo. Painting Traore on buses is more than a nod of respect. It's an act of rebellion, a call for change, and a way of amplifying the frustrations of ordinary people. These murals ignite conversations at bus stops and marketplaces, prompting debates about governance, justice, and the role of citizens in holding their leaders accountable. This admiration for Traore isn't an isolated phenomenon. Across Africa, people are looking beyond their own countries, drawing inspiration from leaders who seem to rise above the norm. Traore is part of a growing wave of Pan-African ideals being embraced by a new generation. These ideals, rooted in unity, independence, and solidarity, aren't new. Visionaries like Kwame Nkrumah, Patrice Lumumba, and Thomas Sankara championed them decades ago, planting the seeds of a dream for a united, self-reliant Africa. Traore's actions are breathing new life into that vision. His leadership has become a rallying point for people who want more than just words from their leaders. They want action. Traore has shown that a nation can stand strong without leaning on the crutch of foreign loans. By focusing on local resources and prioritizing self-reliance, he's demonstrating a different path. A path where economic growth doesn't have to come at the expense of sovereignty. And it's not just his economic policies that are earning respect. Traore's focus on accountability is making waves. In a world where trust in politicians is often in short supply, his transparent approach has struck a chord. People see a leader who doesn't just talk about integrity, but lives it. It's this combination of vision, action, and accountability that makes him a figure of admiration. Not just in his home country, but across the continent. In Kenya, these murals on buses are more than art. They're a movement. They reflect a growing desire for a united Africa. An Africa where leaders prioritize their people over politics, unity over division, and self-reliance over dependency. Through these painted images, Kenyans are saying they want a continent free from the lingering shadows of colonialism and neo-imperialism. Art, in this context, becomes a megaphone for change. It transforms something as everyday as a bus ride into a moment of reflection and conversation. The murals challenge not only Kenyan leaders, but leaders across Africa to rethink their priorities. What makes Traore so magnetic is that he doesn't just inspire with his words, he leads with his actions, and those actions speak louder than any speech ever could. Picture this: bustling streets in Kenya, where buses weave through the crowd, their sides splashed with vibrant murals of Ibrahim Traore. At first it seems like just another artistic trend, but when you look closer it becomes clear. These painted buses are more than just a tribute. They're an urgent statement, a plea, a hope. For many, Traore isn't just another politician. He's a symbol of what leadership should look like. Action-driven, people-focused, and unyielding in the face of challenges. One area where his leadership has left a deep mark is agriculture. Think about it. What's more basic, yet more important than food? By championing policies that encourage growing food locally instead of relying on imports, Traore has tackled one of Africa's most persistent issues head-on. This isn't just about filling stomachs. It's about creating jobs, stabilizing economies, and fostering a sense of independence. Traore's approach sends a strong message. A nation that feeds itself is a nation that empowers itself. But here's the catch. No leader, no matter how inspiring, can do it alone. Real change doesn't come from the top down. It rises from the ground up. That's why those bus murals are so significant. They're not just art, they're symbols of something bigger. They scream, "We want better, and we're willing to fight for it." The murals remind people that their voice, their actions, and their collective power matter. This isn't a new idea. History shows us time and again that transformative change starts with the people. Remember South Africa's anti-apartheid movement? It wasn't just about leaders like Nelson Mandela. It was about the countless individuals who marched, protested, and refused to stay silent. Or take the Arab Spring, a wave of uprisings that showed the world the power of collective action. These moments weren't fueled by politicians. They were driven by ordinary people with extraordinary determination. Traore's leadership taps into that same spirit. His actions aren't just policies on paper, they're bold steps that challenge the status quo. By refusing to take on crippling foreign loans and instead focusing on local resources, Traore has proven that self-reliance is not a pipe dream. It's a real, achievable goal. And his emphasis on transparency in governance? It's a breath of fresh air in a world where many feel their leaders are more interested in enriching themselves than serving the people. Those murals on Kenyan buses aren't just about admiration, they're about inspiration. They reflect a deep yearning for something better, for leaders who put their people first, and for systems that work for everyone, not just the privileged few. They also serve as a challenge to other African leaders. If Traore can do it, why can't you? As these buses crisscross Kenya, they spark conversations everywhere they go. In marketplaces, on street corners, and in homes, people are talking. Not just about Traore, but about what's possible. What could their own leaders do differently? What would it take to build a future where the continent thrives, united and self-reliant? And yet these murals also pose a powerful question. Can this energy turn into real, lasting change? Will it inspire leaders across Africa to rise to the occasion and prioritize their people above all else? Or will it remain a symbol, a fleeting moment of hope in a sea of challenges? The answers lie in what happens next. What do you think? Could this be the spark that lights the way to a new era for Africa? Did you find this video interesting? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below.